don't think anyone wakes up one morning and decides, you know what? I want to be a renovation project for the rest of my life. I don't think any of us wakes up with that thought in mind, but have you noticed that some of us do that as if it were true? We're already feeling behind before we've had our morning coffee, before our feet even touch the floor, or even before we're fully awake yet. There's sometimes a quiet conversation going in our heads already. Oh, I should have gotten up earlier. Man, I really need to fix that. If I could only trust God more than I did in that moment. I've got to pray more. I need to stop reacting like that. I've got to get it together today. Maybe nobody else hears those thoughts. And maybe you don't consciously recognize that they're there, like background noise playing in your head that's been there so long that you've forgotten about it. But it is there. And maybe you notice waking up with a subtle message like, I'm just not quite good enough yet. That today is finally the day I'm going to start becoming the person I've always wanted to be. Maybe now you'll get it right. Maybe today, by this afternoon, you'll stop struggling. Maybe today is the day you'll finally feel like you're being a good Christian. It's amazing, isn't it? How we've quickly become both the prosecutor and the defendant in our own lives. Before breakfast, we've held court. We've gathered evidence, we've reached a verdict, and we've handed ourselves another sentence. Try harder tomorrow. Today, I'd simply like to wonder with you. What if that's not actually where rebuilding begins? What if your life doesn't need another repair project? What if what you've been longing for isn't another improvement plan? What if it's just permission? And that's what I'd like us to notice together today. Not solve, not fix, just notice. I want to be careful here because I'm not saying growth is bad. Growth is beautiful. Transformation is a gift from God. In Romans, we're encouraged to transform by the renewing of our minds so that we can discern what God is saying. Learning, healing, maturing, those are all wonderful things. But there's a huge difference between growing and constantly grading ourselves. Somewhere along the way, many of us quietly replace transforming with self-monitoring. Instead of walking with God, listening for what He has to say, we started self-evaluating. Those are different experiences. I remember realizing this one day when I looked at my prayers. I realized many of them sounded the same way. God, help me get better. Help me trust more. Help me to stop doing that. Help me to start doing this. Help me to be more patient. Again, prayers like that aren't bad. I still pray prayers like that. But I recognized something that surprised me. I had stopped enjoying spending time with Him, and I had started mostly bringing Him progress reports. Like I was showing Him the renovation projects and pointing out what still needed to be fixed. And without ever intending to, I realized that I'd begun relating to Him more as a contractor and less like a daughter. And that stopped me. One sentence has quietly changed the way I move through difficult seasons. Observation comes before transformation. And let me say that again. Observation comes before transformation. Whether I knew it or not at the time, I used to believe that growth happens when I critique myself into being and becoming a better person. But critique or criticism rarely leads to lasting peace. Honesty does. Imagine two different responses. The first one says, I shouldn't feel anxious. But the other one says, I notice I'm feeling anxious today. Those sound almost identical, but they're two completely different postures. One begins with judgment, but the other begins with curiosity. One immediately tries to fix, and the other simply tells the truth. Maybe it's grief. I should be over this loss by now. Or, I notice that today grief is especially close. Maybe it's disappointment. I shouldn't still be struggling with this. Or, I notice I'm disappointed. Notice how much gentler that is. Not softer towards sin, but more gentle toward being human. One of the things I love most about reading the Gospels is paying attention to the questions Jesus asks. Not just the miracles, not just the teaching, but the questions. They're everywhere. What do you want me to do for you? Think about that. Jesus knew, but he asked anyway. He still invited the person to say it. Why are you afraid? Not you shouldn't be afraid. Just why are you afraid? Where are you? Who touched me? Questions. Questions create space. They invite honesty. They communicate that relationship matters more than performance. They slow us down. And maybe that's one of the reasons questions are so powerful, because they don't force us. They invite us. God has been showing me, little by little, something much gentler. Rebuilding isn't the same thing as fixing. Rebuilding begins with seeing what's actually there, what's actually true. Seeing with the patient eyes of God instead of through the impatient eyes of fear. Because fear is always in a hurry, and grace rarely is. Fear says, hurry up. And grace says, I'm here. Fear says, you're behind. But grace says, let's walk in this together. Fear says, you should already know. And grace says, let's notice what's happening. I think that's one of the quiet invitations of Jesus. Not become someone else as quickly as possible, but come with me to a quiet place and let's rest.